Hey, what is up, team? Brandon here from Go Headquarters, bringing you the full breakdown of today's workout. We have made it to day 5 of our weekly challenge of push-ups, air squats, and front plank time. So hopefully you guys are at the end of that. We'll go over that after everything else. So to warm up today, we are going to need a Tabata timer. So 8 rounds, 20 seconds worth of work, 10 seconds worth of rest. We're going to kick things off with a shuttle run. So you can see I've got some cones set up behind me. On 3, 2, 1, go. You are going to run to the other end, touch the ground, come on back, touch the ground. We're going to do as many rounds as we can in 20 seconds, and then we're just going to rest for 10 seconds and then line up to start again for round 2. Keep in mind, guys, it's a warm-up. Don't come out so hot that you're going max effort. We need to warm up a little bit, so you might get faster as you go through the 8 rounds, so keep that in mind. If you're not on running right now for whatever reason, do a Tabata round on the rower, on a bike, on a ski erg, whatever you've got, okay? Then we'll move on. So after that Tabata, 2 rounds, 20 total of each task of the following. We're going to do plank ups, we're going to do Brazilian crunches, and we're going to do bicycle crunches. So for your plank ups, guys, we're going to go down into your front plank on the elbows. So we are going to climb up on your left hand, and then initiate climbing down on your left hand. That's 1. Switch sides. Initiate up on the right, initiate down on the right. That's 2. So we need 20 total. Ideally, we're alternating sides on that. So 10 climbs per side, 20 total. Then we're going to do Brazilian crunches. So same deal, from that front plank, from the elbows. We're going to bring your right knee in to touch your left tricep or elbow. That's 1, of course. And then switch sides. Left knee goes to the right arm. That's 2. And we're just going to keep trading. So the crunch starts about here. When I bring my knee in, guys, that's about where I naturally want to stop. That's where my crunch begins to cover all that forward distance. So don't just go to that natural, comfortable stopping point. So 20 total Brazilian crunches. And now we need bicycle crunches. So for the bicycle crunch, we're laying on our back, we're pedaling our feet, which is where this gets its name. And then we're going to take an elbow to the opposite knee. So I'm maintaining my crunch height. My shoulders are up the whole time. I've got an extended leg. I've got one knee tucked in, which is just above my hip. And now I'm rotating from the core. So we don't want to just like kind of move our elbows like this. You want to make sure you're actually twisting from the midline when you do that. So 2 rounds, 20 of everything, plank ups, Brazilian crunches, and 20 total bicycle crunches. That's 10 each way. And then we move on. 2 rounds. We're going to do a 10-second reverse bridge and then 20 seconds per side on a side plank. So for your reverse bridge, it's a cross between like a crab and a bridge. So hands get put behind you. Ideally, we're going to do this with straight legs today. So straight arms, straight legs, and then we're going to try to bridge our butt up as high as possible. Hold this for 10 seconds before coming back down. Now, one thing you guys can play with. So I just demoed that first one with my fingers pointing forward in the direction I'm looking. You can also do that with your fingers pointing backward. Okay, and that's going to kind of stretch out different lines of tissue. So you could try one way and one the other way. So anyway, we want a 10-second hold there. Now, if you feel like doing this with straight legs, you just barely get off the ground, I'd maybe encourage you to do the bent knee version, and you're basically ending up into a really high like crab crawl position, but make sure your emphasis is on bridging up, okay? So 10 seconds there. Then side lying, we want your elbow under your shoulder. Legs are going to be stacked, and we're just going to side plank up. So ideally, we're in a straight line, elbows still under the shoulder, everything's nice and stacked. And we're just going to hang here for 20 seconds. And this is working the obliques down here that are closer to the floor. So I'm on my left arm, so I'm working my left obliques. Now, if you need to scale this, you can assist with the top hand. This can also be done from a bent knee position. So this bent knee makes this whole thing a lot lighter, okay? So 20 seconds on that side, and then switch 20 seconds on the other side. And then that finishes our core work for the beginning of the workout. Then we move on to a little shoulder and arm work just for fun. So here, 4 rounds. We're looking to do 15 to 20 reps of the next 3 movements. Now, I'm giving you guys a range just because you can't always be exact about these things as far as when your technique breaks down or when you just start to fail from intensity, right? So I would love for you to pick loads that get you in that 15 to 20 rep range for these movements, but I understand you guys are working with what you've got. So the reps might be higher or lower on each movement depending on your equipment, okay? So anyway, 4 rounds, 15 to 20 reps of dumbbell side raises, overhead tricep extensions, and bicep curls. So for the side raise, standing up nice and tall, weights are beside my legs, not in front of my legs. They're beside my legs. And then with a stiff arm, I'm just gonna lift these up to shoulder height, control them back down. So what we want to avoid is, momentum generation. A lot of the guys get into this stuff where there's a lot of body action. So far easier to do it that way. Let's make it hard, guys. So move number 2. Traditionally, this move, the overhead tricep extension, is done with a single dumbbell. So we're getting that deep elbow bend behind the head. Both arms are on a single dumbbell. Now, if this is too light, based on what I've got, this can be done with 2. So I would merge 2 dumbbells, but there's 1 dumbbell per hand. And to do the same action, it's the same technique, deep elbow bend behind you, and then using the triceps to extend all the way up. So make sure you get that depth. A lot of people just end up doing these short ones up high. Get that deep elbow bend. So there we are targeting our tricep muscles on the back of the arm. And then we've got our bicep curl. All right, think of this as a squeeze more than a lift. It's like you're trying to just flex this muscle as opposed to like lifting the weight, right? You're just gonna get a whole lot more out of it if you're thinking about contracting that muscle. And if that muscle's contracting correctly, the weight's gonna move. So think more about squeezing the muscle than about lifting the weight. Just a little mental switch can go a long way for technique and effectiveness there. Okay, so 4 rounds, somewhere between 15 and 20 reps of those 3 moves. So just keep that rotation going. Side raises, then do a set of overhead extensions, then do a set of curls, then go back to the side raises, and just keep chipping away at that. Should get the shoulders and arms nice and pumped. Then what we get into, guys, and this is kind of rare and unique, but we've been doing short little runs through these at-home workouts. Hopefully you guys have either a course marked out or you've got like an Apple Watch or a Garmin or some sort of GPS device, maybe it's your phone. We're basically gonna send you on a 1-mile run for time. For those of you that are here at Go Headquarters, this will be programmed in Wattify, so I do want you to actually record your time in Wattify. I wouldn't just finish that arm workout and then 3, 2, 1, go, start the clock. Maybe you need to switch shoes, go to the bathroom, get a sip of water. Maybe you need to run 200 meters, do some things to warm up your legs specific to running. I'm not gonna guide you through that today. Figure you guys can take care of that on your own. But then when you're ready, at your own pace, right? Start that stopwatch and take off on your 1-mile run, okay? Give this a really, really honest effort. As always, if you're on run restriction, give me a mile equivalent on the rower, which would be roughly 1,600 meters, or on a bike of some kind, all right? But give me an honest effort, keeping in mind, most people are gonna be doing kind of sort of 8 to 10 minutes worth of work here. Obviously, faster athletes can be well under 8 minutes. But if you're doing a scaled version, I guess is my point, is pick a distance that's gonna put you in that 8 to 10 minute time domain, roughly. Okay, so 1 mile timed run. And then our final order of business today, and again, this is day 5 of 5 days of our progressive challenge of push-ups, air squats, and front plank time. On the agenda, 150 push-ups, 200 air squats, and a 5-minute front plank. So the strategy, once again, go as deep into that first set as possible. So how many of the 150 push-ups can you do in a row at first while you're fresh? I know that's a really loose term right now at the end of 5 days of doing it. And we just did arm stuff. We just ran a mile. I get it. So anyway, 150 push-ups, then move on to 200 air squats. Do as many as you possibly can before taking breaks. And then 5 minutes of front plank. So one interesting one for me, for you guys, is can you do 5 minutes of unbroken front plank time? typically that's just untested waters. You just don't know because you've never tried. So today's the day to give it a shot. But obviously you're building off of days 1 through 4. So you've got previous data based on how you've been performing this week. If this is your first time hearing about this, guys, you need to go back a few days and watch what the week's progressions have been. I do want you to start at day 1. Do not just pick up at day 3 or day 4 or day 5. I want you to go day 1, day 2, and so on through the 5 days. If you have done all 5 days worth of this progressive challenge, congratulations. That is badass. You have done 500 push-ups, 750 air squats, and 15 minutes of front plank time in 5 days. And that does not count all the other movements that we've done this week either. That is just the standalone challenge. So kudos to you. Great job. Great job today, guys, on this workout. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Just some body weight movements, obviously, in the beginning there on the floor, and some core work, and then a little arm pump to boot. I want to hear those mile times, guys. That's something we should always be working on. That is a great benchmark at any point for all of us. So great job on your attempts, and stay safe out there, stay fit. We'll see you next time.